Hey, welcome back. Day 9 out of 365 days where each day I give a lesson to my future kids. This is the 9th episode, so thank you so much for tuning in. And we'll get kind of straight into it. I do these unscripted, by the way, so this is just me kind of speaking from my mind. And I usually relate something I did today to a lesson that I think is really important that I know that I didn't get previously. This is going to be hard, like later down the line, but we'll get there when we get there. The thing I wanted to talk about today is that I really believe that happiness is you can find out what you want to be happy with by looking at it from a time perspective, and I feel like this is maybe a common thing that people have done, but I would advocate for doing it maybe instead of, people usually do like short term and then long term, right? And there's two. I think there's multiple. I think you can divide up to however many times you want and realize, hey, like this might make me happy in my 30s or 40s, but not in my 60s or 70s if I live that long. But I don't know, I was thinking about that today because at my current job, I'm not always the most 100% engaged, whether it's sometimes the work just isn't for me or I get distracted by something else. I tend to just not give my 100% or full effort. But today was a different day. I worked on one thing or one kind of like goal, and I spent 8 hours doing so, and I sort of reached there. Haven't really completed it yet, that's a tomorrow thing, but it felt good for an entire day just going at a goal that I had in mind. And I think about why was it this goal that made me quote unquote happy? Because as I look on today, I think I was happy, even through the ups and downs that I had. For reference, I was doing some computer-related code issue debugging that I was doing, and I spent a whole 8 hours just focused on that one thing. I even had to remind myself to, hey, take a break, eat something, or drink some water to actually kind of like solve it. And there were times when I went over to my colleague and I'm like, oh, I think I'm gonna throw in the towel. I don't think I can do it. Colleague's like, okay, but have you thought about this? And I'm like, no, let me try that out. I tried it out. I'm like, I'm back in it, baby. And then the next 5 minutes later, I'm like, oh, I think I can't do it anymore. So that process happened continuously, and I wasn't happy throughout the whole portion of it, but happiness really, I think, I mean, it's a very broad term. It's hard to even describe what it means, and it's subjective too. But I think looking at it from a time perspective on, hey, did this thing help me, like in the short term, as in like 10 minutes from now, and an hour from now, or maybe a couple days from now, weeks, a month, years. And if you think about it in terms of that, in terms of actual numbers on how far in advance this thing that you're doing is worth it, I think it makes you truly into it. It also questions a lot of what you're doing, and you have to reflect on that for yourself. But I think it's important to look at happiness with a time horizon in a way. People can sacrifice happiness in the short term for a week, or for a return a week from now, right? Or longer from now. I mean, there's the term investment out there. It's you're not looking for an immediate return. I mean, sometimes people are, but you usually you look for a long-term investment, which is, it can take years for it to develop a return. right? And life, of course, is a balance between playing out your long-term and short-term investments. But today, I look back at the time I spent and I felt like it flew by really quickly, working on a problem that I enjoyed tackling, even though it was frustrating at times. And then I can describe a way it will help me in the future, as in a year from now, even as much as like when I'm retired, right? And I think for that specific example of me working on a coding related thing, I think it could help me really maintain a mental problem solving ethic of keep on going after a goal that I like, and I want to have that. And so having these goals that are set up, I think, benefit me that long term too. And I think if you break down those simple actions that you do daily into what return am I going to see in a year, in 3 months, a year is too long. I think we all underestimate underestimate what we can do in a year. So 3 months, even shorter, a month, a week, right? And if you think about it like that, and you think about what that happiness can generate, I think you can look at, you can feel good about the actions you're doing, be in the moment with them, and understand they have a grander purpose. And I think a lot of people don't do that, or they don't think about their actions in that way. They think about, in either short term, as in now, or when I'm retired, but never that in between, right? I think that's just a human thing of we deal with extremes and we don't want to take a middle path forward of balancing. But I really think, and I want to give this advice to anybody out there, along with my kids, that reflecting on the actions that you're doing in terms of the time, the return on happiness that you get over a certain amount of time, like plotting it out. You can tell I'm an engineer, by the way. You don't have to plot it out, but just think about it, right? Washing your hands. It can be as simple as that. Making your bed. What are the impacts that you think? And just think, it's different for everybody, right? Working out for some people might not be the right thing, and it's, instead of like lifting weights, it's running, or doing a sport. So it's important to look at it in that way. And I think time is a big aspect of living your life, and how you manage it is, in my opinion, where you can be happy in what you have now, knowing that it's going to be there in the future, or some form of it. So hopefully that's helpful. I don't think a lot of people talk about that, but hopefully you guys know, and I'll be back for some more yapping sessions tomorrow. So that'll be day 10. I'll see you then. Bye.